I thought I'd make a quick video about this game I played for my friend's chess.com tournament he runs every Sunday. It's a blitz tournament, three minutes, 2 second increment. And I thought this illustrated some of development principles pretty well, so let's just jump in. So we got a double king's pawn, and this is called Philidor defense. So a bit more passive than, knight c6, but perfectly viable. A lot of people play this way. d4, yeah, if you can get two pawns in the center, then yeah, why not? White's got both bishops opened up, and black's dark squared bishop's a little bit blocked. So takes, exchange variation, and queen takes. So in this line, you usually got to give up the two bishops. Like, main move is to play here. You pin the knight, and if he breaks the pin, pretty much you got to take. And yeah, so black has the two bishops, but white's got a little bit better development, and you can see white scores pretty well. Anyways, that didn't happen in this game. Queen f6, and I just said, okay, you know what? If you want to trade queens, I'll have a big lead in development. Two knights out, both bishops open. It's got to be good for me. Now the engine gives some line where you move the queen, like it gives this line, and for instance, most obvious move, attacking the queen. You can jump back to b3, hit the pawn. Say black tries to make use of the fact that his bishop moved and move it again onto a good diagonal. You can pin it, and you can get some situation like this. And the engine says white is doing really, really well. But it was a blitz game. I never had this position before that I recall. So I just played a very simple move, knight c3. And he does trade queens. If he doesn't trade queens, I might move the queen somewhere now. And then next move, jump in and gain time on the queen. Maybe make it move back. Back to d8. So he does take. And now he takes time to play c6, which the engine also doesn't like. It says it's not strictly necessary, but it makes some sense. A lot of times in these queenless middle games, this c7 square can be sensitive. So for example, say knight f6, I could go after this square. But black can comfortably defend either with knight a6. Again, not exactly where the knight wants to go, but yeah, it plays the defensive role. Or here. Now black can't castle, but yeah, black can kick the knight back, and white's still a little better. But anyway, c6 was played. Makes some sense. But now, again, white is getting way ahead in development. Bishop f4, putting pressure on this pawn. Knight e7, castle, knight f6. So looks like black's going to be able to castle, but this development lead will cause black problems the whole game. So here I played f3. Not strictly necessary because the pawn's already defended, but black's basically telegraphing he's going to castle kingside, and I thought I would kind of defend this pawn, get ready for a pawn storm, and indeed that's what happened. Castle, g4, and yeah, black just has a lot to worry about here. So h6. Usually you don't want to move these pawns in front of your king when with opposite side castling, because it kind of gives, it's called a hook, it kind of gives something to bite against. So for instance, if I play g5, and the knight moves, then I could take this pawn. But I didn't play g4, g5 just yet. I played h4, and just stopping g5. Not that would be a very good move, but I might want to play h5 first. I might play g5. Nice thing about playing h5, it kind of brings the rook into the attack. So for instance, yeah, say if white does something, moves the knight out, and I play g5 here, after h takes, and h takes wouldn't work, but possibly black could have that h5 square for his knight to counterattack my bishop. But if I play h5 first, that square becomes unavailable. So black preemptively jumps back with knight e8. And I do notice this with weaker players. Yeah, like players like below, 17, 1800. A lot of the times they kind of see an attack coming and they respond like early. And yeah, it's better to develop. Already it's a tough position for black. But black should probably try to get some maybe his own pawn stormcoming with b5, or at least develop the knight. It's a bit awkward because the bishop doesn't really have a good square to go. And, d7 blocks the knight. e6 could potentially be taken by my knight. Yeah, so it's a tough situation. But moving back's probably not the move. Yeah, now I jump in with the knight. Again, this is not the engine's favorite move. I think the engine recommends some, like, knight maneuver around this way or something like that. But, yeah, and this, like, strategically, you could wonder, like, oh, well, black's not developed. Why are we letting him take and capture with the undeveloped piece for this knight that's moved 1, 2, 3 times? But the thing is, it's going to open the G file, and I'm going to get a nice attack on his king. So you give something to get something. And pretty much he's forced to take, because you can see I'm hitting this d6 pawn 3 times and the bishop, and there's really no way to defend that pawn. So he takes, and I take with the g pawn. It's towards the center, but most importantly, it's opening up potential lines against the black king. Yeah, now here, bishop f6 was played. I would really consider still develop. Just try to develop. This pawn is covered by the knight and bishop. And also knight d7 has another defender for the f6 pawn. So I can't really push. I can't push. But for whatever reason, he plays bishop f6. And I figured why on his next move. So I took the pawn. Again, this knight is really bad and my bishop is strong. But a pawn is a pawn. And more importantly, getting my rook here will really block up his development. He really wants to play knight d7 and then connect the rooks and kind of counter me and ideally trade a lot of pieces. And yeah, if he can trade rooks, obviously my attack on his king is going to be nothing, and maybe black will even be better because he's got slightly better pawn structure, but that's a long ways off. Now here, yeah, he takes, rook takes, and now he takes this pawn. And yeah, you can see the engine really does not like this move. Obviously, doubling your opponent's pawns could be very good, could be very useful. It certainly weakens my king, but the problem is he's never going to be able to exploit that because I'm going to attack him first. So I take, and yeah, my king is weak, but dynamism, there you go. Dynamism is more important. Dynamism means dynamic, like in the moment, attack right now. This is like a problem for future me, but future me's never gonna have to deal with this problem because I'm gonna give him too many problems to deal with. He's never gonna have any of his pieces in this vicinity to attack me. If he does, then I got big problems, but that's not gonna happen. So yeah, he's got some issues. Yeah, he plays a5, and you might ask, what does a5 have to do with anything? But the thing is, what else is he going to do? He can't develop his knight normally. He could develop his knight this way, but then I could actually take his knight and then take this pawn. Although probably I wouldn't even do that. I would probably do similar that I did in the game, because this knight, it's going to take a long time to really get into the action here. Yeah, but I could always take and win a pawn if I need to, and then I'm just a clean pawn up. So, yeah, actually, I'm just gonna pop on the engine just for a sec to, yeah, the engine's really not liking any of black's move. But say here, yeah, just rook g1 or takes, and let's just say takes, and even this move, this is not really something I would consider, but dominating the open file, probably bringing a rook here, maybe attacking these pawns, bringing another rook to the 7th, And despite equal material, well, actually not quite equal material because I did win a pawn, right? Yeah, I'm up a pawn. But yeah, it's not a good situation. So a5 is understandable. I play f6. Yeah, if he takes, he's opening up his king. Even if I couldn't take back the pawn, which I could. So yeah, and also another thing about f6, I want to play e5, and I want to kind of bring my bishop. Well, you'll see in the game. So f6, g6. He doesn't want to take, and now h5, just trying to pry open his position. He goes forward. I pin the pawn. He moves out of the way, and now e5. I want to get my bishop involved too. This pawn is really strong, and yeah, whenever you have advanced pawns like this, your opponent always has to worry about tricks like pushing this pawn, sacrificing even, but getting a pawn all the way to the 7th rank, threatening to queen next move. Yeah, basically, the pawns are worth 1, right? In chess accounting. But the closer the pawns get to queening, they go from 1 to slightly more than 1 to basically 9 if you can get them all the way across. So, yeah. But of course, advanced pawns could become weaknesses, right? Because often they're separated from their brothers. Or you could say sisters, right? Because mostly they become queens, so they're probably girls. But that's neither here nor there. So, yeah, so obviously advanced pawns could be weak if black somehow manages to win this pawn and then win this pawn. Yeah, but again, because his development is bad, he doesn't really have time to mobilize. So, okay, so he plays a4. Probably he wants to get his rook. Yeah, he's just desperately trying to get active pieces, but it's just a bit too late. So I played f4. So if he takes, again, I don't have like a specific knockout blow, but I can check. I can bring my rook here. Probably this is going to be bad for him. So he defends, and now I check him. He moves out of the way. I take. Yeah, if he takes with the rook, I'll probably trade rooks and check him here. Well, actually, yeah, if he trades rooks, it's going to lead to checkmate. Yeah, for instance. Yeah, if he trades rooks, yeah, that's just mate in 1 because of the bishop and pawn. Another nice thing about advanced pawns, not only do they threaten to queen, but they control a lot of squares, especially when the king is over there. So he has to take with h-pawn. And now e6. E6 is, the idea is to just get this pawn out of the way. And that's what happens. Yeah, now I'm hitting the rook. And he has to defend. And here, originally I was going to play bishop g6, but this is kind of an ugly move. The bishop's kind of like a tall pawn, as they say. So instead, I took the g-pawn. And he can't take, again, because of mate. Now the pawn's gone, but the rook controls this square. The bishop controls this square. Rook here. Next move is mate. So, yeah, if you can do what you want to do with threats as opposed to just passively defending, especially when you're in attack mode, taking the time to play bishop g6. Probably white is still totally winning probably, but if you can avoid moves like that and kind of take advantage of your development lead, do things with threats, it's better. So anyway, I took the pawn. Finally, he develops his last piece, but it's too late. And take a moment if you want. Yeah, rook takes e6. And the point is, I'm not worried about this pawn anymore because again, I have mate threats. Now I have the rook roller mate, as we called it when I was teaching in New York City, New Jersey, various places. Yeah. And yeah, there's no defense against mate. Yeah, if he takes here, mate. So I thought this was fitting that black finally develops his last piece, but it's too late. So anyway, I just wanted to share this game. Hopefully you found it useful. It's not a perfect game, but the point is not to play a perfect game. It's can be demoralizing to look at a game. You're like, oh, I'm really proud of this, and then you turn the engine on. The engine's like, oh, you could have done way better from move 4. But that's not the point. The point is just to follow the principles and yeah, just play as well as you can. Thank you for watching.